Hi guys, a great looking package on the outside means absolutely nothing if your organs on the inside are a dumpster fire. I'm here talking strictly to the men over the age of 50 who eat fine food, live well, and think that having a flat stomach and a polo shirt means that they're immune to chronic decay. I just got back from a private house call in Maui, and today I'm going to give you a three-part breakdown on what I found while I was on site doing that house call. First of all, it's a former champion athlete who hung out in tank tops and flip-flops, but he was clinically obese from behind without even knowing it. Second, the toilet bowl discovery that proved his kidneys were screaming for help while his doctors were pushing heavy, invasive interventions on him. And third, the dead simple quarter-inch turn with water that turned his joint pain and his kidney stress and his waistline around in under 96 hours. So let's go. Look, the guy lives in paradise, dressed casually, usually in tank tops and shorts and flip-flops. He loves showing off his physique, and honestly, he has several medals to prove how great he used to be at weightlifting, decathlons, and even breaking world records. He's grilling expensive Wagyu beef, eating wild-caught salmon, scallops, and jumbo shrimp, pounding protein daily. And by the way, keep that Wagyu and seafood in mind because that is a topic for another video, because what he thought he was doing when he was fueling his muscles was secretly frying his system, but more on that later. From the front, the guy looked like a cover model, a flat stomach, a solid chest. But then I had him stand up and I pulled out my measuring tape. I wrapped that tape around his back and right at his waistline at the belly button. Here's the exact math every man over 50 needs to write down. Take your height in inches. My client was 5 foot 6.5 inches tall. Now, what you want to do with that is you want to convert that into inches so you can divide that in half to find out what the obesity marker line is. And for him, that would have been 66.5 inches, which is 5 foot 6.5 in inches. Divide that by 2, we get 33.25. At 33.25 inches around his waist at the belly button would mean he's obese. And here's where he measured, 35.75 inches. That meant that this man who looked great on the outside from the front was actually obese. And there's the lesson in what you guys have to hear. So why should you listen to me? Because my name is Jannina Sodto and I'm an elite men's health strategist. I work with clients virtually and I make house calls. If your waist measurement is more than half your height, meaning anything for this guy over 33.25 inches, it meant that he was carrying around visceral fat. So let's talk about that. That isn't soft, pinchable skin that we're talking about. This is toxic grease that suffocates your heart, your liver, and your kidneys. And in his particular situation, it was suffocating him from behind. So remember, at 33.25 inches, being 5 foot 6.5 inches tall, that meant that he was clinically obese. And that is the front page illusion that I want you guys to be aware of. And mainstream medicine misses it every single day because they only look at the standard scale. And I'm not even going to bother telling you his weight because it doesn't matter and it shouldn't matter to you. So that way you guys know what to focus on. I asked him to check his urine after he peed, and when I looked in the bowl, it looked like someone had dumped liquid dish soap into the toilet. You guys know what I mean. Thick, white, foamy bubbles floating on the top. That foam is not normal. That is protein leaking directly through the damaged kidneys. His doctors were already talking about expensive, invasive procedures for other things going on, but they completely missed the most basic foundation sitting right in front of them, his cellular hydration. So what was causing it? It wasn't some exotic disease. It was that he was drinking dead water. He was drinking gallons of stripped, dead, filtered water every single day. And he'd been doing it for years because he was, 67 at the time that I visited him last week. He was drinking this kind of stripped water for decades while he was thinking he was optimizing his health. Now picture this. Picture pouring pure distilled water into a fine crystal glass. It looks clean, but it's completely hollow, guys. No electrical charge, no native minerals, nothing. Now you can spend thousands of dollars on organic food, luxury travel, and 5-star dining, but if you flood your body with dead water, it's just going to strip those minerals out of your bones because your body's not stupid. It's going to get what it needs from somewhere. And that's what's unfortunate when you guys don't understand the way the human body works. And by the way, a lot of doctors don't understand it either. And this dead water that he was drinking just flushes right through his bladder without even hydrating his thirsty cells. And that was his first problem. Dead water, guys, will flush through you. It doesn't hydrate you. And that is where the problem lies. Now, I didn't put this man on a $1,000 supplement routine. I didn't send him for an invasive procedure of some sort that would light up his body like a Christmas tree. I just made a 1/4-inch turn. I pulled him off of the dead processed water and put him on natural spring water directly from Mother Nature. Because why? Mother Nature knows exactly what you need, exactly what your body needs, exactly the composition of electrolytes that your body wants. So that's all I did. I took him off of that dead water. Here's what happened in less than 96 hours on site. First, he stopped needing to drink as much water as he used to drink before because his cells were actually finally absorbing the fluid. He was feeling hydrated. And I didn't have to ask him if that was happening. He actually mentioned that, I believe, on day 2 or 3. He started noticing that. Second, the nagging inflammation that he had in his shoulder. It was a pain that he was dealing with in his shoulder for at least 14 months. And every time he slept on that side, it was painful for him. And it almost completely vanished in the 5-day period that I was there. Third, by day number 4, that soapy bubble layer that we saw on his urine dropped to nearly 0. And fourth, his waistline dropped a full inch in just 5 days. Not from starving himself, not from being put on the treadmill. It was all just because we got rid of the deep fluid retention that he had because of systemic swelling around his organs was finally beginning to drain. And that's the key, guys. All because we stopped suffocating his kidneys with that dead water. Now, there's your 1/4-inch turn. You're welcome. Because the body is 70% water. Big 1/4-inch turn for the body that's not that difficult to do. Looking good in flip-flops and a tank top on the beach in Maui doesn't mean a thing, guys, if your kidneys are foaming in the toilet bowl. If this opened your eyes today and you've learned something useful from this house call breakdown, do me a quick favor and hit the thumbs up button right now. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video where I'm going to expose his obsession with consuming a lot of protein with that Wagyu beef, salmon, and jumbo shrimp was secretly backing up his liver and his kidney metrics. Give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next bit.